Welcome everybody, this is Paul with Southern Adirondack Outdoors. You may not be able to see it, but there's something new at the sawmill. I've always wanted some sort of internet connectivity over here. We have zero Wi-Fi signal, no electricity, no Wi-Fi or no cellular signal, I mean. And it's been nice at times not to have any signal, to be honest with you. But as time progresses, the need arises. Now, you may remember last year, I think it was last year, about a year ago, we put in these little guys up here, and they work fine, no problems with them working, other than we needed power over here. But it would power that camera and send it back live to the house. But a company contacted me called Wavlink, W-A-V-Link, and they came up with a product, the AX3000 Wi-Fi extender, so I don't need anything at the sawmill shed to get internet access. And after some effort, it actually works. You can see there's George's latest video, Middlefield custom sawmill playing live. So it took a little effort. The first steps, or the first try was a failure, but we'll go back over the house and I'll show you what the product is and we'll go from there. Okay, well, we're back over to the house, and up here you can see the unit, the Wavlink that comes in the box, of course, and you'll see 4 antennas up there. 2 of them are 2.4 and the other 2 are 5. You just make sure you put the right antenna in the right spot up there. They're labeled, but you can mix them up. They are interchangeable. I think the only thing I had to buy to install this was the cable that goes up to the unit itself. Going around the corner here into the garage. It comes with the PoE, Power over Ethernet unit, as well as the shorter cord, this one, the shorter cord that goes over to your router, and power supply as well. It just plugs into a regular outlet. And we are on fiber line. It comes in, goes in that box, and goes to the router. And that is limited to, let's see, I got something behind me. That is limited to 250 or 255 MBS, millibytes per second, I guess it is, on download, and 25 upload. So these numbers may not reflect your numbers, it all depends on what service you have. And here's the box the unit came in. Show you some of the numbers down there, and the description over here. It does come well packaged. Nice foam inserts and different boxes for different things. Here's the antenna box and the accessory box. So very well packaged. And also has some things I didn't need, which were these straps for, these are metal for mounting it to a pole. Some silicone pads, which usually work in conjunction with these straps to mount it, to make a grip around the pole for it. Some plastic plugs, a wrench, and some instructions, as well as a template, and for which I use to make this block, which is my temporary mounting apparatus, which I'll explain in a moment. But overall, the unit seems pretty durable and so reliable so far. It's signal over to the sawmill shed, as well as we've been using it for the last few days here for our regular internet service. It's actually faster than our 5G, going from our modem up through the ceiling and a couple walls and that sort of thing. It's actually faster using that access point rather than using our regular household 5G. I mentioned that little block, my temporary mounting block. The installation of this is pretty easy. The location, however, you have to be a little more picky about. I first put it up on the corner of the deck, right below the railing there, so the antenna stuck up above. And that worked great around here. But I was disappointed in it didn't reach over to the sawmill shed. Luckily, I have a neighbor who installs Wi-Fi and fiber optic systems for a living. So I had him come over, and he made his little heat map. Heat map is just basically a gradient of signal strength as you walk away from it. And I'll pop it up here in a moment. You can see it fades from green, which is good, all the way down to red, which is no good. So he was helpful in coming up with ideas to fix it. So that heat map came in handy to show where the bad spots were, where the signal was lost. So I tried adjusting it, moving it from this post to that post in the corner. And then I contacted Wavlink and said, I don't think this is going to work. So they sent me a instruction sheet, recommendations of how to install it for location-wise for the best location. And it turns out up there was the best location. That's actually where I had the other unit from that you saw earlier, that cylindrical unit that I installed last year. So I was able to reuse the same post, and that worked out good. I'm going to pop up a little Google map here. It's about 700 feet from the house here to the sawmill, through trees, power lines, another set of trees, and then all the stuff around the sawmill. I wasn't getting a signal there until I moved it up here. So the location of the unit is critical when you're dealing with trees. The leaves block the signal, disturb it, bounce it around. So the fewer trees, the better. It really does slow down. I get great signal around here, even down 300 feet that way. And down at the end of the driveway, get a good signal. But as soon as I go across the road into the trees, it drops off dramatically. So to come up with a solution for a sawmill shed, I was getting a signal when I moved it up to here, but it wasn't a great signal. And it's still not 100%. It could be better, but it works for what I need it for. I'll take you down there in a minute and we'll take a look, see what I did. Okay, I'm running a little speed test here. If that comes through on the phone, I'm not sure. I take pictures out here in the sun. But it came out at 243.9 megabytes download. And remember, I'm limited to 250 on my plan. As I walk down to the end of the driveway, we'll take a couple more measurements. I should also mention that this is omnidirectional, so those antennas that you saw up there go in all directions. It's not directional, you don't have to have it pointed in the right way. Might help a little bit. Okay, so now we're probably about 100 feet from where we were. And I'm going to do another, do another speed test. And download looks like it's going to be around 235 or so, 237.2. So we lost a little bit in that 100 feet, but not much. That's still a good signal. We're down at the end of the driveway by the road. And let me see if I reset this. Start. A little better face. And we're about 250, 275 feet away. And it's coming in at 234.9. Now the upload I haven't been showing you, but that's limited to 25 anyway, so that should be fine. So we were over by the garbage can over there. Now we're across the road, somewhat in the shade and not quite in the trees yet, but, and we're getting looks like it's around 75 to 80. 81. So we lost quite a bit there once we stopped. Excuse me. We lost quite a bit once we stepped into the woods here. We continue on our little trail. This is our little walking trail. I'm not going to go the whole length. We get about, as a spoiler alert, we get about 35 megabytes at the sawmill shed area. So right now we just crossed through the woods. The house is up there, you still see it. And let's see here. Let me reset this. Here it should drop a little bit more. Nope, actually it picked up. Oh, you know what I think it did? I think it switches from 5G to 2.4 as needed. 2.4 is better for distance and going through things. So we ended up at 130 megabits down speed. That's pretty good. That's actually better than what we were getting in the house with our provided router from the phone company on 5G. All right, so that continues to drop off as we go through the woods to the sawmill, and it gets to about 35. Now what I did to help, and this is more to stabilize the signal, walking back towards the road now, is I took out about, a dozen or so beech trees. You can see they're diseased, they had the beech bark disease, so they weren't long for this world. And they were, 3 to 4 inches, so nothing big. I cleared out basically the understory from here. And that way I made a little bit of a tunnel. And that didn't really improve the signal, maybe a little bit, but really what it did is improve the reliability. The signal wasn't going through all these leaves as they're blowing in the wind. And I did the same thing. Before you couldn't see through, you can probably see the chip pile or the shelter logic off to the right of those firewood totes through there. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but. So a little clearing of leaves and trees helped a good deal for reliability. All right, I'm gonna head back up to the house and we're gonna take a couple more measurements. Okay, back up to the house. Somebody else wanted to come out and play too. She's been inside for a while this morning, so now I'm gonna head down at the end of the lawn down there, which is about 300 feet from the unit. Actually, maybe a little bit more. So I'll see you down there. Going after her frisbee. Now she doesn't want to give it back to me. So I'm about 300 plus feet from the house, down the end of the lawn, and the unit is on the right-hand side of the corner up there. Okay, start speed test. Now this is about 300 feet away. And looks like we're ending up around 145. Nope. There we go. 182.8 download. And the upload's gonna be around 25. And I see I sidestepped to the left there for a moment because I looked up and I noticed a branch. Let's see, right by that cherry tree, a little branch sticking out. So by moving over this way, I got a clear shot without the leaves. When you saw the numbers go up there, it was probably from that little branch hanging out there. So line of sight is very important for good speeds. We're gonna check out one more spot. We're gonna go down this trail here, which comes out just below the house. Okay, so you can see the house up there. And at this point, the unit is around the corner on the right side. So it's in the front corner. So the house is starting to block it a little bit. So I wanted to see what that effect that has, as well as the elevation change. I was wondering if the elevation, we are probably, good 60 to 80 feet, 10, 20, 60 feet lower. So I'm gonna get my phone out and we'll give it a try. Okay, so this is roughly the same distance, 300 to 350 feet away, and downhill about 60 feet, and then also around the corner from the house. And I think that around the corner made us lose a lot, but the download is only 2.6. So with omnidirectional antennas, once you get around the corners of buildings and things, it really decreases their performance. Okay. Now time to climb the hill again. Found her a turkey feather. She likes turkey feathers. She'll just carry it around and munch on it. Okay, made it up the hill without collapsing. The reason I initially installed it there was just for that going around the corner aspect of the building. I was hoping to get the signal to go down that way, as well as over to the sawmill. So, but the sawmill went out, so I had to move it from that corner. I never did check the signal down below from that corner, but I guess it's a great product. Seems well made, came well packaged, undamaged, and it works. As long as you have line of sight. Trees really knock down the performance. So any trees in your area, it works around them to some degree, but after too many, then it'll just block them. I want to insert one thing that I forgot. The unit doesn't like Norton VPN. It kicked me out when I first was installing it and setting up the unit. But once I figured that out, the installation of all that sort of thing and setup went pretty easy. So if you have need for a wireless access outside, an access point, good product, seems to do the job. I was surprised it actually reached the sawmill. So I'm glad I got it. Should solve some issues at the sawmill shed. All right, well, I hope you like this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Have a good day.